how to increase your productivity and set your priorities. Hey, it's Ryan here with another VPS Friday 5. It's our second week, so we're almost creating a streak here. I'll call it a streak when we've done 3 in a row. But this week I want to talk to you a little bit about setting your priorities and how that can help you be more productive. So we're going to cover 3 topics here today, some stuff I've kind of figured out here over the last week. So the very first thing is that and I'll tell you, this last week's been a little bit crazy. I've been went down to Elizabethtown, Kentucky for a couple of days, met with several members of our team. We had a lot of group meetings. We worked on a lot of projects, and the cool part about that is that we made a lot of progress on those projects. Now, the bad thing is that I came away with a ton of assignments, so I had a lot of tasks and to-dos that came out of that. So one thing that my friend Nick Berry has helped me with recently is knowing the big picture. So seeing the big picture, the long-term vision of what we want to accomplish and what we want to achieve. And I know my priorities. So I have rocks, I have priorities, I have roles and responsibilities on our team in my position and with the various businesses that I'm working with and owning that I know that I need to accomplish. That, you know, I'm one of the only people that has the skill sets to do those things. You know, that's where I'm most useful to the team. And then we have other people that have their skill sets and their unique talents that take care of a lot of those other things so that we can each focus on our unique abilities and our unique skill sets. Well, a lot of times you can get caught up in the day-to-day. A lot of things can, there's always something else to do, right? Things keep piling on and piling on. Well, when that happens, I tend to get a little bit overwhelmed. And when I get overwhelmed, I get stressed, I get anxious. You know, it's not a good thing. I get, you know, I'm short-tempered, I'm grumpy, so nobody wants to be around that. So what I need to always do is, and Nick helps me with this, is he just basically says, stay at the top of your list. And we have had conversations about this, and we've talked about it. And what that means to us is, you know your priority list, go to the top of the list. So when you don't know what to do, when things seem overwhelming, the first tip that I'm going to give you today here is stay at the top of your list. Go to your priority list, know the most important things you need to be working on, and start there. Okay? Because you don't want to just take on the day-to-day, those urgent things that pop up. You know, they're going to keep popping up. So stay at the top of your list. The second thing that I can give you, the second tip, and this happened after I came back home with a long list of to-dos and notes, and I need to organize. So what I did was I categorized them, and I organized them, and then I used my priority list to set the priority list for them. So not sure if you can see behind me here on my whiteboard, I've got a ton of different lists and categories. I basically broke down all my tasks and assignments, things that I needed to do, broke them down by a category, and then I organized and prioritized them. So that helped me. And when I looked at that, I realized that all those assignments, all those tasks, they were really just pieces of the big picture, right? They're pieces of larger projects that just need to get done. So now it's much easier to start and consume that, right? I can take it one bite at a time. I can work through that as needed, and it doesn't seem so overwhelming to get that done. So that's a huge, huge thing. Categorize, organize, prioritize, right? So do whatever you have to do to take that big list of things that you have to do, break it into different categories. So for me, I broke them into the different projects and the different businesses that each of the to-dos or the assignments came from. And then I prioritized them and said, all right, what do I need to do? Like, what has to get done right now to make sure that that happens? And then my third tip here is just get started. Oftentimes what happens is I get a little overwhelmed and I just need to get started on something. So what I did today was actually, you know, I was gone out of the office. I sure could have used the extra work time, but I scheduled 2 hours to do what we call a clarity break. And so it's a great time to work on bigger projects, take time to just think about the big picture of your business. And it allows you to, as a business owner or as a creative person, to get outside and think, right? You're not inside the day-to-day tasks of your business. I scheduled 2 hours this morning, left, went to a coffee shop. So I got out of my work environment. I was out of my office. That sparked some creativity for me. And I prepped all my research, and my goal was to work on this one big project that I had. I had to start working on some branding things and telling stories and things like that. So I needed some just complete focus on that and to get out of my element. So what I did was I scheduled that 2-hour clarity break, and I just got started. I started with a blank piece of paper. It actually wasn't a piece of paper. I had some notes on that, and I just started writing, because the toughest thing is starting with a blank page, right? So I just started writing, and things started to develop and form from there. And I got my first rough draft done on that, and it was, I think, mostly due to me taking that clarity break and then just getting started. So that might have been 2 tips in the last one there, but hopefully you guys take these tips and you'll be able to use them to help you when you get a little overwhelmed or you feel like you have a ton of things going on. It's stay at the top of your list, categorize, organize, and prioritize, and then take your clarity breaks and get started, right? Those are the 2 or the 3 things that you can do to help you stay focused on your priorities and get more done. So we'll be back next week with another Friday 5.